Think we are live now. Hey guys, thank you for checking in and joining the celebration for 100,000 subscribers here on the Josh Speaks. Right now I'm just opening up the YouTube page so that I can see the chat as it goes. So I can see what you guys are putting in the chat and we can get this going. Let me just open this up here and we should be good. I'm super excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a fun event. I can't wait to answer all you guys' questions. You know, we've been putting together videos for a long time, and now it's finally time to, finally hit 100,000 subscribers. So I'm super excited. Let me just figure out how to get to the chat here. I've been sharing out the link. Let's see if I can get this working and get the chat going. But I see that people. Let me just make sure this is working right. All right, live streaming, events, resume hangout. It says I'm live. Ugh, I hate when Google Hangout does its stupid thing. Huh. So guys, pretty much anyone who's watching it, I'm just trying to get this working. I think we have one viewer on there. Now, how do I get to the chat? That's the question. How do I get to this chat? So anyway, as more people start rolling in, I want to start answering you guys' questions. Let's figure out how to get the chat. Where is it? It's not public, is that why? Now it's public. Now we're live for real, so people can join in. All right, guys, anyone who's joining in right now, thanks for stopping in, and I'm super pumped, super excited to be here celebrating with you guys 100,000 subscribers. It's a huge milestone, and it's really awesome to be here and to finally, do another YouTube hangout. It's the first one of the new year, so let's get into questions as soon as they're running in. First person, your mother says, hey, how you doing, your mother? But cool, more people are starting to roll in. So guys, anyone who's here first, let's start it off. Let's start asking some questions. Let's start this going. You guys know how this works. So CBA, good to see you, man. Thank you, guys. Hey, man, how goes it? It goes well. I'm super pumped. So I'll give you guys a quick rundown. So 2011, even though my channel here in the Josh Speaks says 2012, I started making Josh Speaks videos in 2011. And originally when I started, I had just decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to make videos about things that were interesting to me. At the time, it was like dating techniques or interesting things, books I was learning or reading. And I started doing videos on that. And as time went on, people started asking me questions. Hey, how do I ask out a girl? How do I talk to my crush? How do I not be nervous in class? How do I deal with all these different issues? So I started doing videos on a random, slew of different topics like that. And eventually I started to put two and two together, and I realized there's a gap here on YouTube. And I realized, to me, I see that gap as being someone, a male generally, who is there to speak to middle school, high school, college kids, to talk to them, answer their questions, help guide them through the difficult and confusing and awkward stages of life. So I feel like that's what I try to do here on the channel. I try to help you guys learn how to be your best self. And I think, all the different video suggestions you guys give me help me kind of explore those topics a little bit more so that I can really help you guys out. So Chris Channel asks, where do I live? I live in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a New Yorker. How's it going, everyone? How you doing? As people start to roll in, just kind of jump in the chat, say hello, say something so I know you're there. So let's see. So Floyd669, Floyd says, how would you turn on a girl that likes you? Okay, so guys, so here's the thing too. If you're asking questions in the chat, I'm gonna try to jump through them one by one. So I might get to your question a little bit later in the evening, simply because I'm going through the chat one by one. So what I was saying is this. So how do you, hit the microphone. How do you turn down a girl that likes you? So when it comes to turning down a girl that likes you, I think the easiest thing is to be honest with her, honest with the girl, but not in a mean way. And that can be a hard line to navigate, because if a person really likes you, turning them down in any way is going to make them feel bad. But if you honestly just tell them, listen, I'm not interested in you in that type of way. I'm not interested in pursuing a romantic relationship, but I don't mind being friends with you. I think a lot of people don't ever want to hear that, but it sometimes needs to be said. If you are okay with developing a friendship with the person, but you're not okay with developing a relationship, you need to let them know that. Because if you don't specify that, then things are going to get murky, things are going to be unclear, and then you're going to hurt their feelings. So if you're trying to turn down a girl who likes you and you don't like them, just be honest and say you'd prefer to be friends if that's what she wants to pursue. Recently been helping me out. CBA, I'm glad my video has been helpful. Anyone new that's joining in, jump in the comments, say hello, share something about yourself. Let me know what your questions are, what grade you're in, what you're going through in school. Fill me in. TJ Byram, how's it going, man? Oh yeah, Country Rebel on Instagram. I see you all the time, man. So Jack says, hey, so I have a crush on my friend, but I don't want to jeopardize our friendship. I watched your video about the topic, but it didn't really help me that much. It'd be really awesome if you can answer. All right, Jack. So this is a question I get a lot. People want the best of both worlds, meaning they want to pursue their friend because they like them, but they don't want it to potentially jeopardize their friendship with them, which is kind of a balance that it's hard to navigate. Because what you have to recognize is this. If you're trying to take your friendship with the person that you're friends with and turn it into a relationship, what you're essentially doing is trying to change what it is, right? It's a friendship, platonic friendship. You're trying to change it into a romantic friendship. Whenever you change anything, a friendship into a romantic relationship, friendship into living together, friendship into, going on a trip together, you're always changing the dynamic that you have with that person. So you have to recognize that if you're trying to pursue a romantic relationship, there is always, always, always a chance that the friendship might fall apart. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Because along with the chance of it falling apart, there's also a chance that it may succeed. So I know you don't want to jeopardize the friendship, but you have to make a decision. And the decision has to be, do you want to just remain friends with the person? And that's it. You are just friends. You don't carry romantic feelings. You don't allow your romantic feelings to go forward. You just stay friends, and that's it. Or do you want to pursue something romantic with them? If you want to pursue something romantic with them, you have to accept the possibility that you might lose the friendship. You can't have both because you're trying to change what you originally have. So AM Cubing says, I hope that was helpful. If it's helpful, guys, leave a like on this video. Let me know. Answer in the comments. And Fax Rapper, I don't know if I can answer that one, but how big is my subscriber base? I just hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm super pumped. The channel's growing. You guys are getting more involved, leaving comments, answering each other. I love that. I love having a community that works together. So AM Cubing says, so I'm in high school and it's exams week and I'm really stressed out. Any ideas on how I can relax a little more? So AM Cubing, this is something a lot of people kind of worry about when exams week and, finals and tests and midterms and all these things pop up. You have to find a little bit of time every single day to dedicate to just yourself. And I don't mean time like, oh, I did homework, I studied, let me watch TV or let me go on the computer. I mean time strictly devoted to yourself. So a good example of devoting time strictly to yourself is maybe spending an extra 10 minutes in the shower, just enjoying the water falling on your body, not thinking about anything, just being in that moment. Or maybe you can just lie down in bed and relax and not play on your phone or do anything like that and just kind of sit there and just be. You need to give yourself those break points because what ends up happening is our mind goes from school to studying to watching TV to playing on our phone to studying to going to sleep. You're constantly jumping into new things. You're not giving yourself a chance to relax. So you have to give yourself a moment to just stop. Those little moments, if you do that every single day, you'll allow your stress levels to naturally drop because they'll help you kind of calm down. They'll lower your heart rate. Your mind won't be racing. You'll be able to unfocus on all the things that may be causing you stress. So Ethan asks, how long do you wait to ask out a crush after they just broke up with someone? So that's another tricky question. There's no solid answer on what to do, but the truth of the matter is this. If you like someone, right, that just recently broke up with someone, I think the best thing to do is before you jump in and ask them out, spend time getting to know them. A lot of times people are just kind of waiting for the opportunity. Oh, they broke up, let me jump in and ask them out. But that person who just, the girl, let's say, or a guy who just broke up with their girlfriend or boyfriend, they may not be ready to jump into another relationship. But what they are ready for is to build a strong friendship with someone else, getting to know someone, right? And getting to build some type of relationship with them that is built around, hey, let's get to know each other, let's be friends, let's kind of focus on that. And then maybe a month from now, maybe at the end of the week or whatever it may be, whatever their time span is, they may be ready then to jump into a relationship. But don't be ready to and pounce on the situation and jump on it just because they broke up. Give them time and get to know them a lot better. So Fax Rapper says, have I heard of the band Gay Porn? I've never heard of the band Gay Porn. Do I like Rickroll? I'm never going to give you up. I'm never going to let you down. I love Rickrolls. They're always funny. It's never a bad Rickroll. So hand cube and get a fidget cube might sound pathetic, but they may work. That's another example too. So CBA says one thing you can do is get a fidget cube. That's something to kind of play with in your hand while you're studying, so you can kind of separate. You can redirect your attention to something else. The fire truck in the background. So Niz6 says, I got rejected by a girl on November 16th, but I want to give her a Valentine's gift. Is that a good idea? So just one quick memo for you guys. I'm probably going to do another I keep calling Google Hangout, another YouTube live event before Valentine's Day, because I know you guys are going to have a lot of direct questions. And for the next few weeks, my videos are going to be very Valentine's Day centric. So definitely stay tuned for my info, my advice, my experiences there. But in terms of this, got rejected by a girl, but you want to give her a Valentine's Day gift, is it a good idea? My initial thought is no. And the reason I say that is because I think if you ask someone out and they kind of reject you and they say, I'm not interested in you, you have to ask yourself, what will the Valentine's Day gift do? Is it going to kind of get you in their good graces? Is it going to somehow make them like you? You haven't built that with them before. So the Valentine's Day gift will probably at best get you oh, thanks, you're so kind. And that's it. Because you don't have that foundation with them where they can say, wow, he got this for me because he really likes me and I like him back. You're just kind of giving it away and you haven't built the foundation. So I don't think you should give them a gift. I think instead what you should do is try to really, look, Valentine's Day is in what, 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks maybe? 3 weeks, let's say 2 weeks. Spend the next 2 weeks, everyone watching this, if you want to ask your crush on Valentine's Day, spend the next 2 weeks really getting to know them. Talk to them. See if you can hang out with them during lunch. Try to make plans after school. Spend as much time as you can with them, getting to know them, building a solid friendship so that a few days before Valentine's Day, you can then ask them out. Because at that point, they'll have already decided, hey, you know what, this person's cool. I want to spend time with them. It'll be easy to transition from something to something rather than nothing to something. So Nas Tidik says, I have a question. Some girls think I'm a loser. How do I get a girl? Okay, so that's the thing too. Sometimes you're going to run into people that are going to be like, you're nerdy, you're a loser, you're not cool, you're weird, you're annoying, all these different words. People sometimes use those words when they don't understand someone, or they haven't built a connection with them. So if you run into a situation like that where a few girls think or a few people think you're a loser, don't let that be the deciding vote for everyone you're going to meet. And chances are, the people who do say, oh, you're a loser, if they got to know you better, they wouldn't think that. So what I think it comes down to is this. I think what you need to do is take time to get to know those people better. Sorry, I'm burping a little bit. Let me drink some water. Take time to showcase a little bit more of your personality. So for example, if you walk up to someone who says, oh, you're a loser, say, listen, no need to call me names, no need to think that and stuff. I'm actually a pretty cool guy. Like, for example, I like to go to the movies, I like to paint, I like to play video games. What do you like to do for fun? And kind of flip the conversation to get them to open up a little bit. Because if you could do that, then they may start to see, okay, he's not such a weirdo, he's actually just a normal guy. So how to ask a girl out, explain. All right, I'm going to get to that, I think, in my other answers, other questions. How do you get motivated to start talking to your crush when you're awkward and don't talk to girls often? Okay, so guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through some of these questions. I'm going to try to pull them together, the ones that I think are similar. So Chris Channel says, hey, Josh, what would you suggest to do to prepare for exams? All right, so we'll get on this exam one. So I think when it comes to preparing for exams or a big test or anything like that, a few key things you may want to focus on. One, build a study group with your friends. Studying with people and being able to bounce ideas off of people always helps, because what happens is there are things that you're going to focus on, and there are things that maybe your friend will focus on and things your other friend will focus on. And you guys will all focus on little bits of different things. But when you come together, you're kind of sharing and testing your own knowledge of what you know. So for example, if it's math and you know how to do certain formulas or certain equations, but your other friend is really good at other types of equations, you guys can kind of share that knowledge and test each other on that. So form a study group. Another thing, maybe seek a tutor, right? Talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, ask them to hire a tutor, whatever you feel. Or sometimes schools offer tutoring after school. Try to find tutoring, try to find a study group. And then the third one really is just kind of hit the books. You just got to kind of dedicate the time to try to study. If you're not willing to dedicate the time to study, then everything else unravels. So you really got to put the work in, I think, if you want. But having a study group, a group of friends, and then reaching out to a tutor definitely helps. Let's see. How to deal with long distance relationship. Nate DeGreat asks. So, all right. So long distance relationships are very tricky things. And I did a video on this, which you guys should definitely check out. It's called How Do Long Distance Relationships Work? That's the title of the video, I believe. And essentially my main point in all of that is this. I think long distance relationships work if the relationship starts before you guys separate from each other. Meaning, if you're already talking to someone, if you already built something up, if you guys are already boyfriend and girlfriend, you're already going out before you two separate, then I think it's possible for you to maintain that relationship. If you're trying to form a long distance relationship with someone that you meet online and they live, let's say, and this is something I've gotten a lot too. People are like, hey, I like this girl or I like this guy. I live in one country, they live in another country, or I live in one state, they live in another state. Can we make our relationship work? I think it's a lot more difficult because the obvious question you have to ask yourself is it possible for you to ever meet up with this person and see them? And if it is possible, is it something that can happen probably within the next year and not like 5 or 6 years from now when you're able to get a car or travel or something like that? That's the realistic question you have to ask yourself. Can I meet up with this person? If you can't, then you can maintain an online relationship, but recognize that it's never going to get to the full fruition of what you want simply because you can't meet up in person. And that's a huge component in a relationship. So Ben Smith asks, how's life as a YouTuber? Life as a YouTuber is a lot of fun, man. I love making videos. I love interacting with you guys. I think talking to you guys is my favorite part of the process, simply because I learn so much from you guys asking questions. You guys tell me what your situations are, what your life stories are, challenges you face, your ups, getting a girlfriend or boyfriend, your downs, being rejected, your partner making fun of you. Like, you guys share a lot with me, and I truly, truly appreciate it. And I feel like anything that you guys share with me helps me craft better videos, because I try to really focus my answers on, okay, what would be helpful? What would be effective? How can I help this person work through this situation? So you guys have helped this channel be a lot of fun to do. We're at 100,000 subscribers. It's so much fun. It's awesome. It's just, I feel so humbled by the fact that we've all worked together and we've made this happen. So CBA says, hi, I have a crush on this girl, but she's in a relationship with my best friend and it's not going well. I'm planning to ask her out sometime. Don't need help with that part, and I'm wondering, when is a good time to ask her out? Okay, so this is a tricky thing too. Sometimes you, right, you as the person here, may like your best friend's girlfriend or your best friend's crush or something like that, right? That type of situation where it's like you like a close friend's something, right? Sister, best friend, cousin, whatever it may be. And that your friend is kind of the little middle piece that's like, how are they going to feel about that? I think that uncertainty of not knowing how they're going to feel about it is all the reason why you should talk to them about it. You should kind of make sure things are cool and things are okay. So let's get real specific here. His question is about, he has a crush on a girl. She's in a relationship with his best friend. So think about it like this. This is your best friend, right? If he's going out with the girl and then as soon as they break up, you kind of swoop in, don't you think that'll kind of be going behind your best friend's back? So what I would suggest is this. If you do like the girl and they do break up, talk to your friend about it and say, hey, listen, dude, I like her. I want to know if it's cool if I talk to her, get to know her, and see if we can connect. If your friend is totally not cool with it and he's like, no, that'd be so hurtful, you're betraying me, then you need to really decide what matters more to you, your friendship or your potential, not even your guaranteed, your potential relationship with this girl. That's something you need to weigh for yourself. But I definitely think respect the bro code and always talk to your friends before you kind of do something behind their back. How to get a good relationship. Okay, so a few people had asked already, like, how do I ask out a girl? How do I talk to a girl? How do I not be nervous? How do I get a good relationship? So I'll kind of group those together here. When it comes to deciding to ask someone out, when it comes to finally taking that step and doing it, I think you have to recognize that everything is small steps, right? It's not just, I like someone, the next day, let me ask them out. No. It's never that simple because there are so many moving parts in the process. What I would suggest is this. If you like someone, I always mention this, and I mention this to a lot of people that say they're nervous and they don't know how to begin. There are three simple rules I think you should always focus on first, and that helps set the framework. One is to make eye contact. If you look the person that you like in the eyes every time they pass you, you're able to maintain eye contact, not like look and then look down, look and look away, or look away and never make eye contact. Hold strong eye contact with them. That's the first one. Second, smile. Because holding strong eye contact and not smiling is creepy, and that's just weird. But the way to make it not weird is to smile. So you make eye contact, you're both holding it, they're looking at you, you're looking at them, smile. Hey, how's it going? I just said the third thing. The third piece of that is to say hello, because it's one thing to maintain eye contact and just hold that. Holding that alone is creepy. Making eye contact and smiling and not saying anything is like, okay, buddy, what are you smiling at? But the third step is to say hello. So if you make eye contact, smile, and say hello, then you're now creating the situation where you're kind of softly introducing yourself to that person. You're softly talking to them. You say hello, you smile, and they look at you and they smile and say, hi, how you doing? That's it. That's the first step. Those 3 mini steps are the first real step, because if you take that first real step and you do that day after day, well, then guess what? By the 3rd or 4th day, along with just saying, hey, how you doing? You may say, hey, how's it going? So how was your weekend? Or, hey, have you seen any cool movies lately? Or, hey, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? You can start adding in more pieces on top of that 3rd step, which is saying hello. And that's how you start getting in the process of getting to know someone. And as you get to know them, as you start to build some kind of foundation with them where you guys are talking a lot, you guys are interacting, now they're saying hi to you first, when you start to really connect, then you can lead into asking them out. So a lot of people say, when do I ask her out? How do I ask her out? What do I do? I think taking those small steps leads to the bigger steps. And when it comes to asking them out, you'll feel way, 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 way more comfortable once you are comfortable just talking to them. So that's my answer on that one. I'm sure I'm going to readdress it later as more questions roll in, but we'll get to that. Bessie Buddy, thank you I hope the advice is helpful. Really, I'm glad I can be helpful in some way. So YOLO Gaming says, I really like this girl. I'm just meeting her. What should I ask her out? So yeah, kind of going back to my previous information, if now you're at the point where you're going to hang out with someone for the first time, the goal should be to get to know someone, because that's really what you're there for. Ideally, when you ask a person out, you're asking them out so that you can take the time to get to know them, right? That's what a first date should always be. A first date should always be asking each other questions to see, hey, does this person relate to my personality? Do I relate to their personality? Are we similar? Are we different? How do we connect? Those are the things you want to find out first. So Noel the Gamer says, I'm upset with my girlfriend. I'm upset with my girlfriend. I'm not sure how to apologize. Oh, you upset your girlfriend. Okay, so Noel upset his girlfriend. He doesn't know how to apologize. So sometimes, look, boyfriends, girlfriends, people, friends, whatever it may be, you're going to get into arguments. You're going to get into fights with each other. That's normal human nature. Resolving conflict is something we struggle with sometimes because it requires us to kind of put our egos aside. We feel like, I'm going to look like an idiot if I apologize, or if I admit that I'm wrong, and they did something wrong, they should apologize to me. And no one ends up doing anything because they're waiting for the other person to handle the situation. Well, here's what I think. I think if you are smart enough to recognize that there's a problem, you're smart enough to solve the problem. It should fall on the person who first recognizes that there's a problem. And since you're recognizing that there's a problem, it's on you to solve it. That's the simple philosophy of it. So how do you kind of deal with that situation when you've upset her? Well, look, at the end of the day, you have to, when you upset someone, what's important for you to do is to take time to listen to what you did that upset them. So it isn't just a matter of saying, I'm sorry, and then they say, okay, I accept your apology. It's a matter of saying, I'm sorry, accepting that you did something wrong. Hey, look, I'm sorry. And then asking, what did I do that upset you? What can I do to not do that again? And let her open up about what it is that bothered her, because her getting off of her chest is going to make her feel more relaxed, knowing that you're willing to listen and you actually care about what she has to say. So let's try to scroll through these fast. I know I'm way behind on comments, I'm sure. But once again, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I don't want the mic to show. There we go. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate everyone being here. We hit 100,000 subscribers. How awesome is this, guys? We've come so far. We've done so much together. So Mac and Roll says, Mac and Roll Gaming says, there's a girl in my band class that I kind of like. How can I get her to practice with me without it seeming weird? I'm an awkward guy. Okay, so let's think about that for a second. So you want to practice with this girl, but you don't want it to look like, and this is the thing too, I think a lot of people want to talk to someone, but they don't want them to know that you like them, right? Which is, it's a totally understandable concept, but it's a weird one when you really think about it. You like someone, you want to spend time with them, but you don't want them to know that you like them. And a lot of times it's because that fear of rejection is so real, that fear of rejection of, it's easy to spend time near someone, but it's not easy being rejected by them. So sometimes people will sacrifice explaining how they feel just so they could spend time near their crush, which is not a good thing to do because you're not being true to yourself. You're actually hiding a piece of yourself that you don't want to reveal to the world. So when it comes to doing something like that, getting close to this girl, how can you practice with her without it being weird? I think that because you guys share something together, which is music, and you share band class, talking to her about the instrument that she plays, how long she's been playing it, what her favorite band is, has she ever played anywhere before, does she want to go pro with it, asking her questions that really, really dig deep into, hey, listen, what's your passion behind music? Will get her to feel way more comfortable about you. And that's my go-to, I think. My go-to is always when I feel awkward around someone, when I feel weird interacting with someone, I ask them questions and I share stories. Those two things go hand in hand. Ask them, hey, so what are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? And then share, oh, I was just doing this the other day and I was trying this out and it didn't work out. What are your thoughts on that? Sharing a piece of yourself and then looking to receive a piece of them, knowledge about them, helps you both kind of fall in sync with each other. So that's what I would say. So Crossing Gaming says, hey Josh, I'm in a relationship with this girl who goes to a different school than me, but I rarely get to see her. And anytime we try to see each other, something pops up. Okay, so that's the thing too. I did a video on this as well called, I don't remember what it was called, but essentially it was about dating someone when you never see them around. And I talk about that where if you do really like each other, right, and you want to build something with each other, but you guys never have time to see each other, then you have to ask yourself, maybe the best thing is to just have an online relationship and meet up once in a while. If that doesn't work for you and it's someone that you do want to see, you just can't figure out a way to make it work, then why not try to maybe instead settle for a friendship? It might be easier to manage a friendship than it would be a relationship. Okay, so let's see. So Nightshade says, my girl broke up with me because I have a small thing down there. Okay, so Nightshade. So I'm going to quickly address this, assuming it's not a troll question, although I assume it is. If you feel insecure about any part of your body, whether it's your junk, your face, your looks, your voice, your height, anything, if you feel insecure about that and the person you're with only adds to that insecurity, meaning they mock you for it, they belittle you for it, they compare you to other people and say, why aren't you like them? Why don't you look like that? You'll never be as good as that. That's not the kind of person you want to be with. So if the girl you're with is making fun of you for your size, that's not the kind of girl you want to be with. There are plenty of people in this world, girls, if that's, your thing, is plenty of girls that appreciate all types of guys no matter what is going on. So I think the goal here is to consider yourself freed from being tied to someone who didn't respect you. That's really what it comes down to. Joshua Worth, thank you for congratulating me on 100,000. I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. I keep saying pumped, but super excited that we're here, and we can only go up, guys. We can only learn more and grow together. So CBA says, hey, best player. Just go for it, to be honest. Oh, okay. So CBA, you know what? I'm going to mark you as a moderator. I see you being helpful. You're answering comments and stuff. Definitely appreciate everything you're doing here to help and be a part of this. So CBA, to think of a name, I'm marking you as a moderator. If you see anyone trolling or kind of doing stupid things, try to soft warn them and block them if that's necessary. But kind of look through the chat and see what's good in here. And you're doing a great job answering questions. I appreciate it. To anyone else too, if you guys want to answer each other and I missed something or I haven't got to something, definitely jump in and talk to each other. This is a community. This is really what it comes down to. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. So just ask a username. Just the username says, Josh, how do you ask someone out without ruining the friendship? That's a really good question. And I think I want to dedicate another friend zone video to that. Because I really want to drive home that point. And I mentioned it a little earlier, but I think what it comes down to, you have to decide, do you want to maintain a friendship with someone, or do you want to pursue a romantic relationship with them? You can't really do both. If you try to pursue the romantic relationship, there's a chance you may lose the friendship, because now that your feelings are out there, they may say, hey, you know what? You weren't being an honest friend. You were hiding your feelings, or it's awkward now because I know you like me. We can't just be friends. So if you are in that position where you do like them, realistically, you can't just be friends, right? You have feelings. So the best thing is to either pursue the relationship or just never act on your feelings and try to suppress them and try to push them out and not think of that person that way, which is tough and near impossible, I feel like, to do sometimes. So ACDC Metallica says, she stares at me, smiles at me from a distance all the time. When she's close, she tries to deflect me. What is this? So this is something that I feel pops up a lot, where people say like, well, this person looks at me, they smile, they maintain eye contact for a long time. Do they like me? Here's the reality. It's not really that easy to tell. That's the reality of it. There's no clear cut, oh, they looked at me for 10 seconds, therefore they like me. They may just be looking at you out of curiosity, just because maybe they were spacing out and they're looking. Maybe they're curious about you. They heard something about you. There's a million potential reasons. So what do you do? If you're in a situation where someone's looking at you or smiling or any of those kind of situations, maybe in class or in the hallway or anywhere, I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you still need to approach them and talk to them and see for yourself. That's the only surefire way that you're going to find out whether or not there's a potential for something there. And that's through talking to them. So let's see what else we got here. So Jack Filmer says, hey, so recently I moved for like 6 months and then moved back to where I used to live. I'm now back and most of my friends are different. They're into drinking. I want to help them stop. How should I? So that's an interesting thing, Jack. Sometimes when you move away from people, you guys grow in different directions. You have different influences. So it seems like your friends want to drink and smoke. And you didn't say smoke. I kind of grouped that in with drinking. They want to drink and they're into different things. And you're not so much into that. I think it's less a matter of trying to get them to change, but to try to find a way that you can balance it. So for example, if their drinking is an actual problem, let's say they're becoming alcoholics or they're doing stupid things while drunk, let's say that like that's what's happening. They're doing stupid things while drunk. Then I think it makes sense to talk to them. But if they're just drinking and enjoying life and it's not really causing a problem, then I think try to find a way to balance it. Like for me, for example, look, my friends love to drink. They like to go out to bars. They like to do those type of things. I don't care much I don't drink. But I go out with them and my focus is on hanging out with my friends. So while they're all getting their drinks, I can still sit there and enjoy the moment with them because they drink And then we talk and we go back to our normal thing. So try to find that balance, see what you can enjoy, still sharing that with your friends. But if they're drinking and their kind of new attitude is kind of negative, something you don't really want to be around, then you may have to decide whether or not you do want to spend time with those people. So does listening to music help you calm down? Bands like Kiss, Heart, Def Leppard, The Beatles? Yeah, look, music is great. Music, the rhythm of music can be so calming and so relaxing. So when I said earlier about like pulling away from everything to relax, some people can relax with music. I'm not saying that music is the antithesis of relaxing. What I'm saying though is that if you're allowing your brain to concentrate on something, then it's not what you should be doing. So if you're able to just let music play in the background and that's soothing, and your focus isn't so much on the lyrics or the message or whatever, it's just soothing background noise, then that's totally fine. The goal is to not have you think, to just be, to just sink into your pillows, sink into your bed, and just sink into your position and just be. Nine-Tailed Fox says, love your videos. Thank you, Nine-Tailed Fox. I appreciate it. So now Nas Tidik says, how do I get a girl if someone thinks I'm a loser? So I addressed this loser thing before. I think I might have to do a video specifically on this, just feeling like a loser, feeling like people consider you a loser. The best way to kind of break that stereotype is to see who it's coming from and to get to know them. Kill them with kindness in a way. The more they learn about you, the more they get to interact with you, the more you guys can kind of build a bond. They won't see it that way anymore. So Gaming with Ben says, hey, Josh, I'm a long-time subscriber, so really happy you finally get to 100,000. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. I think you guys are doing such a tremendous job with the questions, and we're not getting through some solid stuff here. I hope I'm giving you guys some solid answers that you could take away and feel like it's helpful. One thing I also want to address, too, is that if I don't get to your question here, okay, so Cool Coat, I see your question on suicide. I'm going to get to that in a second. If I don't get to your question here, right, which realistically I may not get to everyone's questions because I'm sure I'm way behind in the chat anyway. Here's the thing. You guys can always shoot me a message. I'll fill you guys in on a few things. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Facebook. Those are the three main ones mainly that I use. But if you want to message me, right, if you guys want to message me here, this is what I'm going to do for you. So I'm going to put on my Snap code, and to anyone that wants to ask me a question or add me on Snapchat, you guys can do that. Here it is. I'm going to put it up here. Hopefully you guys can, hopefully it's not blurry. I hope it's not blurry. All right. If you guys want, take a screenshot and then add me on Snap. Go. Okay, good. That was a 2-second plug. Add me on Snapchat, ask me your questions there, or ask me your questions on Instagram. I'm jumping on those. I answer emails as well. If you email me at thejoshspeaks@gmail.com, I'll answer your questions. So if you don't get to your questions here, remember, leave comments on videos, message me on social media. I'm always available there to talk to you guys. I do my best as I can to answer your questions. So back to Cool Coat's question on, how do I help someone that wants to commit suicide? I only know them online though. Okay, so Cool Cat, I want to tell you a quick story here, and this is a crazy one. I knew a girl online, right? Or I knew of a girl online that had a blog, right? And it was the scariest thing in the world because when I discovered this blog, the most recent entry that she had was saying that she was going to commit suicide, right? It was like, oh, I want to commit suicide. I feel like I'm going to do it the next day or so. And I discovered the blog at that entry. So I'm like, holy crap, like what led her to this position? So I went to the beginning of her blog and I started reading all her posts. And it was the saddest thing ever. She had problems at home, problems with her friends. She felt unloved. She felt, she didn't accept herself, accept her body. And the sad thing is that the next day she actually committed suicide, and her sister had posted on the blog saying she was closing down the blog and everything. And this was like in 2005 or something like that. And this was the most heartbreaking thing for me because I developed such a strong relationship with a girl who had a blog who I didn't even know. But I felt so like deep in that feeling of holy crap, like, there are people out there online who need help, and they, like, if we can ever do anything to talk to someone, to lend a helping hand, to just be an ear to listen, that is so, so important. So if you know someone who is feeling suicidal, whether you know them in person or online, Always ask them, what can I do to listen and what can I do to help? Just sometimes being that person who can sit by their side and not, you don't always have to know what to say. You don't always have to say something. You can just sit and listen and let them talk to you. Because sometimes knowing that you have someone to talk to is that missing step that everyone can benefit from. So that's what I would suggest. If she wants to do that, tell her that before she makes any decisions to talk to you, to let you know what's going on so that you can hear her out. That's what I would suggest. Bill asked, do I have a girlfriend? I do. Now she's my fiance. If you guys head over to Instagram, you guys can see the post I posted on there of me and my fiance. She has her ring out and everything. Hit the like on that photo. Yeah, so that's my situation. I have a fiance and I want to incorporate her and add her in a video. And I'm probably going to do that at some point. So you guys can learn what she does and what her role is in life and everything like that. And it'll be a lot of fun. So Rory Clark Aviation says, I've known a girl for 4 months and we're really close. I want to ask her out, but I think I'll be really awkward and don't want to ruin it. Ruin what we go. Any advice? Okay. So you've known a girl for 4 months, you're really close, you want to ask her, but you think it'll be awkward. So this goes back to what I was saying before. It's like you're standing at the edge of a cliff and people are running after you to kill you. And you have to decide, do I sit here and get killed, or do I jump off the cliff and try to risk it all and land in the water, let's say, and take a chance? Like you're at that point where you know someone and you're not sure, how do I turn it into something productive? And that's where you have to kind of use your deductive skills and really ask yourself, I've known her for 4 months, but have I built some kind of a romantic connection with her for 4 months? If not, if it's just been a very casual friendship, then think about it. If you ask her out, why would it lead into something if it's been very casual? The focus should be on, how do I change this friendship I have with her into a more romantic one? And I think a good segue, and I mentioned this in the past, a simple thing you could say is, starting today, say to that person, what is it about you? I feel like there's something different. I feel like, I don't know, something interesting about you that I want to get to know better. How about we go out sometime? Just you and me, let's go out and get dinner, or let's go out and hang out. And now you're setting the framework, hey, something has changed here. I don't only view you as a friend. You're not saying that, but something has changed here. And I'm changing how we're going to interact with each other. And that's what you have to focus on. From that moment forward, you flirt with her, you talk to her, you enjoy those moments, you tease her, you do all these fun things that come with being romantic and flirty, but you have to change the dynamic. That's how you make that transition without it being awkward. So let's see. So Joshua Worth says, hey, Josh, watching the Royal Rumble on Sunday. I want to do nothing more than watch the Royal Rumble. I'm super pumped. Anyone here who's a wrestling fan, let me know in the chat here. I want to do something wrestling related somehow from now on. I don't know if it's making a second channel or I don't know what it's going to be, but I want to do something related to wrestling. I know a lot of you guys are fans, and I am putting my money probably on Brock Lesnar. I think Brock is going to win. I think they're going to build it up to him and Goldberg or him and Undertaker again. We'll see what happens, but that's where I'm betting things. So Big Boy says, I have a crush and I really like her. What should I do? So like I said, I think when it comes to asking someone out, don't ever just say, hey, do you want to go out with me? Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend or boyfriend? Always lead asking someone out into specific plans. I think that's the best way to make the transition. So here's an example of how you could do that. Let's say, let's go back before, I don't know what movie's out now, but let's say the Star Wars movie, Rogue One, right? You can talk to your crush and say, hey, listen, have you seen Rogue One yet? Did you hear about Rogue One in theaters? Well, however you want to phrase it. Talk about the movie, right? And say, oh man, I'm super pumped. I want to go watch it. I want to go see it. Have you seen it? You haven't? You should come with me. We'll go watch it together. Now what you've done is this. You've asked them out. And you've asked them out on the basis of making plans. So it isn't just, do you want to go out with me, yes or no? It's, do you want to go out with me to watch Rogue One? Now, let's say they say yes. Boom, you have plans. You just made plans with them. Let's say they say no. Now, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to those plans. That's the difference. When you say, do you want to go out with me, yes or no? They're saying no or yes to you. When you ask them, do you want to go out with me to do this? They're saying no to those plans. So if they say no to go seeing Rogue One, that's cool. How about one day you and me go for a walk or go get food after school? You can then change the plans until you find something that works for you two. So please says, can you do a face reveal? I think I will. I'll do something fun like that. It'll be like a with the little question mark and a black circle over the face, like in all the YouTube thumbnails. People do that. So what is an ideal first date? Maybe something unique. This is a good question. So a lot of people say, like, what is the perfect first date? What's the best thing? I have a video on 10 first date ideas, 10 awesome first date ideas for teenagers. Definitely check that out on my channel. I give a lot of good, I think are good ideas for different types of dates you can go on. But particularly what I would say is that you want to pick an activity where the focus is on you guys talking to each other. Think about that for a second. So the focus is not on, let's do something where we're distracted. Let's do something where the focus is talking to each other, because that first date should be all about you getting to know them and them getting to know you. So if it's something you guys can do together where you can talk about, so for example, let's say you go to the arcade or something, you go somewhere where there's like skee ball, you can throw the ball and ask them a question and talk, and you're doing something while you're asking them a question, but the focus is on you guys talking. Everything else is more of a shared distraction to allow you guys to talk. So any ideal first date is talking to them, but definitely check out the video 10 amazing first date ideas for teenagers, because I go more in depth on ideas. So OMN says, if Takar Ahmed says hello, how you doing, man? Okay, so if says, hi, do I ask a girl out if she's older than me and seems so distant? So asking out an older person sometimes can be difficult, simply on the basis of asking out an older person can be difficult simply on the basis that you two may not be in the same, I haven't thought of a term for this, but it's like this categorical levels. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're in middle school and they're in high school, you're in different categorical levels, as I would call them, right? Because they're experiencing the high school world and you're experiencing the middle school world, and you have very different experiences. Your focuses are on different things. In high school, maybe they're focused on standardized tests and college and maybe getting a job. And in middle school, you're focused more on making friends, developing who you are, and then thinking about high school. So your minds are wrapped around different things. So it can be difficult sometimes to connect with someone that's a little bit older. Now, let's say it's only a year difference. That might be a lot easier, but you have to ask yourself, will I be able to share things and talk to this person? And will be able to share that experience? Because if you have different experiences, it may be hard to relate. So I love Alexis says, what do I do when class and other social activities are stopping my relationship from moving forward? So that's another challenging thing too. If you are in a situation where you have a lot of after school activities and you do things on the weekends and you just don't have time to spend with the person you're in a relationship with, that can be frustrating. It can make you feel like you're not dedicating enough time. You're not really getting to know that person. Maybe they'll get bored of you. A million thoughts run through your mind, right? And I think what you have to do is you have to work with the person you're with to see how you guys can manage your time together. So if it's only talking on the phone or talking online or texting, whatever it may be, FaceTiming, whatever it may be, sorry about that. If it's only those type of things, then what you really have to see is, okay, well, maybe we can try to meet up once a week on the weekends, or maybe on Friday evenings, my parents can drive me to your house. You guys have to really work together to come up with the solution. It's not so much, I never get to see them. What do I do? It's you have to work with your partner because they want to see you just as much as you want to see them. Do a water flip challenge. I don't know how well that would go over with a glass of water. Might not go over well. Let's see. So Noel the gamer says, so sometimes my girlfriend thinks I like another girl because I found the other girl cute. I want her to understand I love her, and just her and calling the other girl cute doesn't mean I like her. Okay, so this is the challenging situation, because now we're dealing with maybe jealousy or insecurity, and those things, you can never stop them in another person, right? If another person feels insecure, feels jealous, that's how they feel. So as much as you can rattle off all day and keep saying, there's no reason to be jealous. There's no reason to be jealous. Over and over and over. It doesn't mean it's going to make them feel any more secure. The only thing you can do is to try to understand what it is that's making them jealous. So for example, if your girlfriend feels jealous because you're calling another girl cute, what is it about either the word cute or you acknowledging another girl that makes her feel insecure? Maybe she feels she's not cute, right? So maybe you don't call her cute enough. Maybe you don't boost her self-esteem enough to make her feel like, hey, he really does think I'm cute. And yes, he thinks she's cute, but he also thinks I'm cute. So maybe she's comparing herself and doesn't feel like she's receiving enough value from you. So really listening more than telling her, don't feel insecure, don't feel jealous. That doesn't mean anything. Telling her those things won't make her feel less insecure. You should ask her and really try to listen to her answer to really solve what it is that's making her feel that way. So Kay Drew says, hey, Josh, so there's this girl in one of my classes and in my lunch who I have a huge crush on. I went to my elementary school, but I can't find the right things to say. Okay, so this ties back into the baseline of everything we talked about. You like someone, you don't know how to talk to them or address them, and you're kind of in this situation of like, how do I start that conversation? I think it comes down to this. If it's someone that you knew when you were younger and you grew up with them, you can always jump back to that. Oh man, it's been a while. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Let's catch up. What have you been up to? What classes have you taken? What grade, are you in now? And what's your teacher like? And your focus then, if you knew them prior, should be on let's fill in the gap. Let's catch up. That's where I would say your focus should be. So I Heart Husky says, how do you deal with bullies that won't stop? So bullies can be a problem sometimes. They can be a problem because bullies generally are dealing with their own problems, right? And what they do is they take out their problems, their frustration on you, which is not cool, which is not something they should do, but that's what they do. And sometimes you can get them to stop and sometimes you can't. Sometimes they will continue picking on you even after you tell them to stop, even after maybe you threaten to beat them up or even threaten to tell the teacher on them. There's no surefire way to get a bully to stop. So all you can do is strengthen your own ability to not give in to the peer pressure of feeling like you need to fight them, or not give in to feeling intimidated by them, because sometimes people can sense that fear. If they sense you're intimidated or they sense that you're getting annoyed, they'll play off of that, and not give in to as much as you can to not leading it to a physical fight. Because once you get to the physical fight realm, then really all bets are off. You don't know what can happen. You may beat them up and they may come back with their friends to beat you up. So once you get to that fight level, it's kind of, it's a grab bag. Anything can happen. So you want to do your best to not get to that level. And the best way to do it is to build your strength to ignore what they're saying if they're verbally abusing you. If they're doing things like pushing you and shoving you or throwing things at you. I mean, it's like I can say, don't give in to what they're doing. They're just bullies. And it's that parent advice you hear all the time. But the reality is it's kind of true. It's like if they see that they're getting to you, if they see that they're breaking you down, they're going to do it more. So you have to just show that, like, listen, dude, what are you doing, dude? Who cares? Like, leave me alone. You buzz off. You're being annoying. You treat them like they're a fly more than they're like a tiger, right? You act afraid of a tiger, but you don't act afraid of a fly. A fly is just there. It's annoying, but just tell it to buzz off. So that's what I think you should try your best to do. So the Coaster channel says, how do you start a text conversation with your crush? Like, what do you start it with? Okay, so let's assume, do we ask here on the Hangout? Hey, Neon Wave, I don't know how long ago you asked the question. Ask all the questions here in the live chat. Google Hangout is now YouTube Live, so there is no Hangout chat. It's all here on live, which is way easier because it's one central place. But how do you start a text conversation with your crush? Like, what do you start it with? Okay, so when it comes to starting a text conversation with your crush, I think, so you're asking kind of like, what should I start that text with? I did a video on how to text your crush, which you should definitely watch. And basically what I say in that is, you want texting to be something that's fun, right? Now, there are a lot of people who fall into the trap, and it's a trap. I believe it's a trap, where they're just like, hey, what are you up to? Nothing much. You? Cool. And that's it. And then the conversation dies. And they do that every single day. Hey, what's up? Nothing much. Bored, same. They run into that boring trap. What you want to do is use texting as a way to have fun with them. So what I would suggest is, playing up things, right? So for example, if you're playing video games, right, send them a picture of the game you're playing and be like, oh my God, I'm trying to get a high score. Or what are you up to right now? Or if you are, let's say, doing homework, you can take a picture of yourself falling asleep on your books and say, ZZZ, I'm so bored. You know, have fun with the messages that you send and be creative there. Think about what you're doing and try to seek value beyond, hey, what are you up to? You know, because when you start getting in the habit of just saying, what are you up to? The conversation flatlines. So the only band that matters is, how do I bang? That's an interesting question. So I did a video on, am I too young to have sex, or how young is too young to have sex? And I talk about that. I get a little in depth on the idea of, you know, having sex at an early age and when is it appropriate and when should you start? So if you're asking how to do it, I'm not going to go into details on that, but I will say that one thing you should pay attention to is having sex always has potential ramifications, right? Like having sex can potentially lead to having a baby, or depending on the person, catching an STI or anything like that. So you always want to make sure you're being smart about it. So the first question you have to ask yourself is this the right decision to make? Before you say, oh man, I'm going to have sex, ask yourself, is this the right decision to make for someone my age right now? Like, can I handle the potential repercussions if things don't go the right way? And that's something you need to ask yourself. So Cerebro says, what do you suggest I do for acting around girls I like? Okay, so girls will feel way more comfortable around a guy who feels comfortable in his own self, right? So if you're standing around girls, right, and they're just talking and stuff, and you're just kind of, let me awkwardly ignore them or let me not do anything, then they're going to sense that awkwardness. But if you're standing around girls and maybe they're chit-chatting and they're joking and pointing or giggling or something, call them out and say, listen, girls, you know, you got something to say, come over here, come on, one by one, tell me. You know, make it into a fun thing. I think that's what it comes down to. If people see that you're willing to have fun and you're willing to just kind of go with the flow of things, they're going to feel way more comfortable around you. So if you're standing around hanging around girls and you feel a little awkward, think about what you can say to kind of break that ice and just have fun with it. So Asim says, hey Josh, thanks for the email. You really did help out. I've decided to avoid her until my crush on her dies out. Once it's dead, I'll continue being friends with her. Yeah, man, I think that's the thing too. I talk about that, like, the only way I believe to escape the friend zone is to move on, right? Like a lot of people say, I want to escape the friend zone, but I still want to like my crush and get with them. And you can't, you know, like you only put yourself back in the friend zone. You need to be able to kind of absolve your feelings, get rid of them for your crush, talk to new people, develop new things in your life, have new experiences. That way, when you meet them full circle in the future, you're a different person and they're a different person. Now you as different people can potentially lead to something new. Hit the microphone. But that's what I would say. Thank you, Bill. Bill says you're really knowledgeable at what you speak, Josh. Thanks for your help. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate it. To anyone new that's jumping on, we've been on for about an hour now. I know in the beginning had a little bit technical difficulties because for some reason the video was private and not public. But I want to say, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey. We're here to celebrate 100,000 subscribers. I'm here to answer a bunch of you guys' questions. You know, I'm super pumped to just be able to share this experience with you guys. And what I want you guys to know is that I really, really do appreciate all the feedback you guys give me, all the comments, all the questions and emails you guys send me. It really is helping, one, me learn how to be my best self and helping me become a better listener and better teacher. You know, when I first started doing videos, I felt like, you know, oh, let me just give advice on what I think, but I didn't spend a lot of time listening. And after hearing thousands of you guys and thousands of your stories, I really, really feel like we've come a long way together, and I'm super excited about that. So what I want to say is here, I shared my Snapchat before. I also want to share my Instagram with you guys. How do I do that? It's not the best way, but this is my Instagram page. I know it's backwards, so you have to do a little bit of flipping in your own mind. The Josh Speaks here on Instagram. You guys can go follow me there, and people are always sending me direct messages on Instagram. I don't want to show people's names, but just a bunch of direct messages, and I do my best to answer all of them. So if you guys have questions and they don't get answered here in the chat, and Instagram is the place you like to talk to people, follow me over on Instagram at the Josh Speaks, and I will answer you and talk to you there, and we'll have a lot of fun together. So let's get back to the questions. I know I'm way behind, I'm sure, and people are like, why isn't he answering my question? I'll get to them. I'll try my best. Okay. Let's see. So Hoy Hoy says, how do you ask if you have social anxiety? Okay, so social anxiety is not, there's a difference between, and I think the average person doesn't understand this. There's a difference between anxiety that can be crippling and fear, like just normal, like I feel nervous, I feel fearful. People who have social anxiety, and the average person doesn't recognize this, it can be crippling for them. Like, they can start sweating. Their hearts can start their heart can start beating. Their hands can start shaking. There's a lot of different factors that go into having social anxiety. So it's not just a matter of simple nervousness and just feeling nervous. Like, I feel nervous at times, but I don't have social anxiety. I've seen it and I've learned and I've read about the, all the differences, so I can say, okay, that's not something I have to that degree, but there are people who do have it to that degree. So if you are one of those people who do have social anxiety and your hands start to shake and everything, like goosebumps, we're talking about you feel nauseous, all these different things. Whenever you feel those type of feelings, those sensations, the best thing to try to do is to ground yourself. And I feel like the best way that you could probably ground yourself is to maybe pull yourself out of that situation as much as you can. Maybe take a step to the side or go to a different room, go to the bathroom, whatever it is, and take your time and breathe. And I think focusing on the breath, breathing in, closing your eyes, and breathing out, and following that cycle and that rhythm, you'll kind of reset your cadence. You'll kind of reset your rhythm, and you'll start to feel like, hey, you know what? I can bring myself down, and I don't have to jump into that situation if I'm not ready for it. And I think that's what it comes down to. People sometimes say, just go for it, just do it. Sometimes you need to allow yourself to be ready to do something. And the best way to do that is to do it from a place of calmness, not from anxiety. So how do you ask if you have social anxiety? I think you have to keep practicing. And that practice is, let me try standing around people, my crush, or let me try standing around other people and see if I get nervous. And slowly start integrating yourself until you're able to do the first 3 steps I mentioned here. Make eye contact, smile, and say hello. Go back to the basics there. So Razor Sharp says, should I make a move on my crush or wait till high school? That's a good question. What I would suggest is, if you want to make a move on your crush, you have to think about how much time you have left to spend with them. And is it possible that if you do start going out with them now, will the relationship end once you guys go to high school? It seems almost like, though, that you people, like you and her, may be going to the same high school, so it's just a transition. It's not so much you guys are going different directions there. If that is the case, if she's someone that you can still have a close connection with and still see day to day, then I'd say the time is now, man. Go for it now. If she's someone that, yeah, you're going to talk to her for a few months and then boom, you're gone, you're never going to see her again, then I don't think it's worth it. You have to really weigh that for yourself. Are you okay with having a potentially short, fun relationship, or do you want to have something that may run longer? That's something you have to ask yourself. So Mark Horner is saying, someone go get a life. Oh, no hacks. Oh, so it seems like he's just saying dumb things. If he keeps, look, guys, if oh, no hacks, or no hacks, just butter, keep saying dumb things, then if you can, block him. If not, leave it in the comments and I'll block him. But I don't want to block anyone. That's the thing. And I don't want comments to be deleted. I mean, if they have to, they have to. But I want this to kind of be an open environment. We're asking each other. We're learning and growing. No need for trolls here. It's like, it's not productive. You know what I mean? So no trolling. I would hope, no trolling, because it's not productive, I think, to the conversation. So Kilda says, hey, Josh, so I've been talking to this girl and I think she may like me. Although I'm not 100% sure she likes me. We text a lot. We can hold conversations in real life. What else should I look for? So you guys text and you hold conversations in real life. I think because you have that first step down, you guys can communicate with each other. You're building that kind of rhythm with each other. You're building that normalcy of like, hey, we talk, we interact, and it's fun. the next step is now try to transition into something more romantic. Maybe try to put your arm around her, try to hold her hand, or try to flirt with her and see how she responds to that. Once you start doing those things, what you end up doing is you end up slowly building into a relationship with her, right? And at some point you do ask her out and make it official, but you end up slowly building into it rather than saying, let me look for all the thought I turn this off. Let me look for all the clues and then I can figure out whether or not I like her. I think figuring out whether or not you can build something with someone is part of the process. So try to incorporate it that way. So Mini Mike says, hey, Josh, I have a friend would like to grow closer to. How should I go about it? So how do you go about growing closer to your friend and building something with them? I think you got to go back to what I was saying earlier in the chat. I have a whole playlist dedicated to friend zone videos and how to get out of the friend zone, what to do if you're perceived as a nice guy, or if the person calls you, let's say the girl calls you bro or dude or one of those kind of things. How do you kind of build something with them? I think what it comes down to is changing the dynamic of how you guys are friends. Meaning, are you friends on a level where you guys just talk to each other and that's that? Or do you flirt with her? Do you tease her? Do you have fun with her? Are there moments where it's like, yeah, we're openly being romantic with each other? Not you interpreting it, but you guys are openly doing that. That's what you need to look for. Hey, don't give the hater attention, just report him. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give him more chance. If I see any more deleted comments by him, that means that he's saying things that are not cool, then I'll block him. But dude, I don't want to have to block you. I don't like blocking people. I just feel like I totally believe in the right to free speech. But I think if it's in a controlled environment like this and the free speech is kind of just bothering everyone, then I think just kick them out, you know? But I want to give everyone the opportunity to speak their mind, to share their questions. So no hacks. If you can not troll and just be part of the conversation, then we'll move forward, man. We'll do this. But if I see more, then I'll just block them. Okay, let's see. I think I skipped a few questions. I'm sorry if I did. I'm trying my best to kind of go through them. So let's see. So I Heart Husky says, how do you deal with bullies that bully you every day? Yeah, so I kind of touched on the bully thing earlier. It's tough to try to solve the bully problem. I think the first thing you should try, and this doesn't mean that it's always going to work or it's, the thing to do, but the first thing you should try is to be stern about that and just say, listen, guys, just stop. Like, that's not cool, man. Not in a way that shows that you're annoyed, but in a way that you're bored, almost like you're bored by them bullying you, which can be kind of a weird concept to grasp. But imagine this. Imagine if you're playing a board game with someone, right? And you're losing. And if you're like, I don't want to play this game is stupid, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, we should stop playing. They're going to say, no, I want to keep playing because I'm winning. They see they're winning and they see you're losing, right? But if you're playing a game with them and you're like, oh, you're winning? Oh, what's that over there? And you keep getting distracted, or you just, oh, it's my turn. And you show them you genuinely are not interested in it, then they're going to feel bored too. And I think bullies kind of work in that same way. Like you can almost kind of trick them into feeling like you're bored by their bullying. Like it's not getting a rise out of you. It's not bothering you. You're just bored. It's like, dude, that's just not funny. That's just kind of sucks. That's a sucky joke, or that's a sucky insult. You got to try harder, man. That's not good. And that'll make them feel like, oh, I'm not getting anything out of him. And bullies, I think, thrive on that rise, knowing that they're getting a rise out of you. So you got to make them feel like they're just boring you to death with their bullying. So the Death Brother says, hey, I was being clingy. I hate myself for that. How do I say sorry for being clingy? So that can happen sometimes. If you feel like you're being clingy in a relationship, or you're insecure, or you're jealous and all these different things, I think the best thing is to try to look inside yourself and to ask yourself, what is it that I am afraid of losing, right? Because in any relationship, when we become jealous or clingy, it's because we fear loss in some way. We fear that the person's going to walk away, or they're going to find someone more interesting, or that we're boring. All these different things are external fears, right? They're like, they're going to get bored of me. I'm not as funny as someone else, or, you're always comparing yourself to the people. Recognize that you're making that comparison and say, hey, listen, this is who I am. My partner's with me because they like me for who I am. If they no longer like me for who I am, or if they feel like they like someone else more for who they are, then the best thing is for us to not be together. And if you can recognize that, hey, You know, if that's the best thing, if there's someone else out there that like them, but they are choosing to stay with me because they like me, then you should feel at peace. If your partner continues to choose you at the end of the day, then you should feel at peace because they accept you for who you are. So that, I think, that mindset is how you kind of get yourself out of the jealousy frame. You know, it's recognizing I am worth something. I am valuable. I am a good partner. And my partner recognizes that. So let's go on to the next one. Next question, guys. By the way, thank you guys for being so fun here. I know there's that resident troll in here, but don't worry about him. We're gonna knock through a bunch of these questions. I want to get through. I want to just 100,000 subscribers, guys. Let's raise our glasses. Drink some water. Okay, let's see. So Danny2485 says, hi, what do I do if I'm really nervous around my crush and my friends? P.S. I'm only in year 8. All right, so you're really nervous around your crush and her friends. This is a common thing. Fear sometimes comes in numbers, right? Like, I'm afraid to be around my crush, but when she's with her posse, like, I don't know what to do. But here's the thing too. Your crush's friends could be your greatest advantage to developing someone with them, right? Think about it like this. Let me fill you in on this. This is a key piece here. If you can befriend your crush's friends, guess what's going to happen? They're going to talk to your crush and say, he's a really cool guy. He's a really fun guy. You should go out with him. They're going to be your team. They're going to promote you to your crush. So the goal shouldn't be, how do I just get to my crush? The goal should be, how do I get liked by the entire group? And I think the best way to do that, I talk about that in the video I did a while back called My First Girlfriend, where I tell the story of my first girlfriend. That was my mindset. When I saw the girl that I liked and I wanted to talk to her, I said, you know what, let me go talk to her and all of her friends. What I did was I kind of just chatted with everyone, and everyone kind of, oh yeah, they chatted back with me, and they thought, oh, he's a fine guy. Not, oh, he's the coolest guy in the world, but oh, he's a normal guy and he's talking with us and this is fun. If you can develop that kind of relationship with them, then they're going to only talk good about you to your crush. So I think the best way to get over the nervousness around them is to remember you're befriending them so that you can talk to your crush, and you have a potential help there, and it's not meant to hurt you, right? The friends are not there to hurt you. They're actually there to help you. Listen to Jesse's Girl by Rick Springfield. It's about a guy whose best friend is dating a girl he likes. It's not a bad song. I want Jesse's girl. Where can I find a woman like that? I don't know if that's the right one. Isn't that Hall & Oates? Josh watching Royal on Sunday. So who you got on winning? Like I said, my money's on Brock. I just feel like they gotta do something with him, and I feel like Brock is the one to go over. So Ricochet Kambamba says, I'm the type of guy who everyone knows, so I get different reactions. So what I know if a girl seems interested or just want to make conversation? Let me reread that. I think I'm misreading it. I'm the type of guy who everyone knows, so I get different reactions. So who do I know if a girl seems interested, just want to make conversation? So, okay, so I think you're asking, who is it that you can befriend so that you can get the girl? And I think, like I said, the girl's friends are always your best resource in terms of building something. Because they're going to be your biggest cheerleaders, right? Like if you can make friends, you can break bread with her friends, they're going to talk good about you to your crush, which is what you want. So Breezy says, Josh, I like a girl that is one grade higher for me. How do I get her number? And I'm shy. So Breezy, I have a video called How to Ask Out Someone Older Than You. I don't remember the names of my videos. Apologize. But if you just search that, Ask Out Someone Older, that video will pop out. I talk about I talk about what you can kind of do to transition to that. And the basic idea is that you have to recognize if there's a big disparity, you guys are in totally different worlds. If you guys are in the same worlds, then you can still find things to connect over. So don't be intimidated by the age if you guys can still connect over the same kind of worlds that you share. So P Destroyer, I think I remember seeing you in the previous chats, and I think I called you P Destroyer in the past. How do you make a girl orgasm? This is an interesting question. I don't think this is something I can or should address here, but I'll give you some info. My friend Ariel Scarcella, right, has a video, not so much video, her channel is dedicated to sexual topics like this. So if you truly want to figure out how to do that, look up Ariel Scarcella, go check out her videos, even look up that question. I can guarantee you'll find some information on that. So definitely go check that out. So Andres Busto says, how to say sorry to your ex even though you don't know what you did. Okay, so I guess the question is, do I advocate for apologizing even though you don't know what you did, what's wrong? Here's the thing. When you say I'm sorry, it's not an admission of defeat, right? A lot of people feel like it is. So going and saying, hey, I'm sorry. Yes, that maybe what you're doing is you're saying I'm sorry because you're trying to gain acceptance back. But that's not why you should say I'm sorry. You should say I'm sorry because you don't recognize what you did wrong, right? That's a very different kind of I'm sorry. Like, hey, look, I'm sorry. Let me know what I did wrong. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to upset you. I really want to make us feel connected. It's very different from I'm sorry. Please forgive me. So if you want to apologize for something you don't know what you did wrong, but your partner's upset, try sitting and asking them, say, hey, listen, did I say something that bothered you? Did I do something that bothered you? I don't want to do that again. If I'm doing something that's hurting you, I don't want to do that. So talk to me. Let me know what's going on so that I can not make that mistake again. That would be the best way, I think, to approach it. So the Nine-Tailed Fox says, Josh, my friend told a girl that I like her from 2016 to this year for 2017. I still do. She does not like me. What will I do? So that's a challenging one. When you like someone, but they don't like you back. I still think, here's the thing. Unless they openly reject you, unless they say I'm not interested in you or let's just be friends, if it's more on hearsay of, oh, my friend said that she doesn't like you, I would still talk to her because it's one thing to decide you don't like someone in theory, and it's another thing to decide you don't like them after really interacting with them. So I would say talk to her, make time to get to know her, and then if she tells you she doesn't like you, you got your clear-cut answer. But try to aim for that answer, the clear-cut one. So how to make a girl like you? I think it ties into everything we've been saying. I think the best thing, and that's what this channel is about, right? Showcasing your best self. Your best self is the you that is compassionate, that is confident, and that is mindful of their actions, their behaviors, how they interact. You essentially want to be in a point in your life where you just feel comfortable. You don't communicate with people in a sense where you're just trying to win their approval or you're afraid of them, or you communicate with people in a way that you're trying to showcase how can we build a connection where we're both cool, man, we're both having a good time. And it's really, people enjoy being around people that are relaxed. They enjoy being around people that are just going with the flow and having a good time. No one likes being around someone that's nervous or trying too hard. So the question is, how do you be your best self? And your best self is the one that is cool and relaxed. That's how you make a girl like you. When she sees that side of you, she'll grow to like you. All Teens Garage says, hey, what do you do to get them to date you when they've turned down so many boys? So I think here's the thing too. You can learn sometimes from other people's mistakes, right? So if they're turning down guys left and right that are asking them out, change the strategy, change the approach there, right? Don't just ask them out. Talk to them first, get to know them. Say, hey, listen, how about we go get something to eat? How about we talk? What are you doing during lunch? I want to learn a little bit more about you. You build a connection before you ask them out. I'm sure all these guys are just jumping in and asking them out. They're not building that connection first. So how do you ask a girl out if she's out of your league? I don't truly believe in leagues at the end of the day. I think what happens is this. When we start, right, we feel we're down here and we feel like that person's up there, right? And that's all on this kind of social perception of how we see them. Maybe they have a lot of friends. Maybe they won the genetic lottery and they're super attractive. Maybe they're good in school. A million reasons why we put them up there, right? But once you really sit down with the person and you talk to them and you get to know them and you really see what their hobbies are. Maybe they talk about what their insecurities are, their fears, what their goals are. When you really get to that level where you're communicating that kind of stuff, you both are on the same level. Why? Because at the end of the day, people have two desires. Everyone wants to feel loved and everyone wants to know that they're capable of loving someone else. So if you can show that person, hey, I'm here to listen to you, and I'm also here to talk, and I'm also here to have that back and forth discussion, no matter who they are, every person wants those things. So if you feel like they're out of your league, remember that they're just a person like you who wants to be loved and wants to know they're capable of loving others. So, hit my little stand here of books. Just so you guys know, I have a bunch of John Green books that I'm using as my stand. I'm looking for Alaska over here. If you guys have a favorite John Green book, leave it in the chat. I'm curious to know what you guys' books are. I'm looking for Alaska, Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns, Will Grayson, and Abundance of Catherines. Which John Green book is your guys' favorite? So, seems like no hacks, just Buddha. I'm just gonna block him. Oh, let's just remove him. I need to block people, but I removed him. He seems to just be trolling. Okay, so CBA says, so I'm the guy you helped with the best mate's girlfriend. Do you have any tips on starting that conversation? The best mate's girlfriend. CBA, I don't quite recall. Can you give a little bit more detail in the comments, and then I'll jump back to it? Okay, so Neon Wave says eye contact isn't easy for some of those who are autistic. I agree. That's something I also want to address too, is that making eye contact is not the easiest thing in the world. So I included eye contact in that the beginning 3 steps. And I think building strong eye contact with someone is something you have to practice. Like for myself too, when I was in high school, I was terrified to make eye contact with girls. I would always look down, I would stuff. And it's not to say making eye contact is easy. And I think Neon Wave brings up a very, very good point. I think for myself, maybe I'm overlooking certain things, and that's something I'm definitely overlooking. The reality is making eye contact is not sometimes just easy. It's not an easy thing to do for everyone. I think it's something you can practice. And I think that's what the goal maybe should be. The goal should be practicing making eye contact. Maybe it starts with a friend, practicing with a friend, holding eye contact. Maybe it's then changes to a teacher, being able to look your teacher in the eyes, or a parent or a relative. And then eventually you can try to build towards making eye contact with your crush. It's not an easy thing to do. And if that's the hardest step, if that's the crutch of what you're facing, then try to find workarounds. Maybe it is, maybe you feel more comfortable making eye contact with people that you're closer with. So focus on maybe talking rather than making eye contact with your crush. Try to focus on the thing that you feel you can build skill in. That's what I would say. But Neon Wave brings up a really good point. I think I was overlooking that, making it sound easier than it probably is. So Ricochet says, how can I be more happy about myself since I'm in a preparatory school and don't come from a rich background like them? People assume I'm kind of the token black guy, and it's really pissing me off. So Ricochet, I can totally see where you're coming from on that. Sometimes when you're the person who's different from the crowd, people feel like, oh, this guy is not like us, or he's the butt of the jokes, or whatever it may be. And that can happen sometimes. And that doesn't make the behavior right at all. And I think the workaround is this, that, not everyone, I think, will get sucked into kind of that us versus them type of trap. And that happens a lot with people when they feel the need to fit in, when they feel like their value is only derived from fitting in. They designate someone else as the other, this person, they're the joke, so that they are never the joke. They're trying everything they can to not be the oddball out. So that doesn't exist in every person. There are good people out there, and I think it's just a matter of doing that. Talking to different people and coming across the ones that are genuine and sincere and just care about other people. It may not be easy, and it may not be the simplest thing to do, but it's possible. So Approaching Solo says, how do I ask a girl to go to a dance? So that's a good question. So how do I ask a girl to go to a dance? I have a video called How to Ask a Girl to Prom, and another one, How to Ask a Girl to Homecoming, which you should definitely check out. Those videos will be super insightful for you. And what I really suggest at the end of the day is first building some kind of foundation with the girl. And I always talk about this, like whether it's Valentine's Day, whether it's prom, whether it's a dance, whatever it may be, you never just want to jump in and just ask them out, because doing that, it's like jumping into a cold pond, right? Like you're going to freeze, right? But if you stick your toe in, okay, and then you stick your leg in, and then you can put your lower body in, and then you go in the pool, it's no longer cold because your body has adapted to the temperature changes you've gone in. And you have to do the same thing when it comes to asking your crush to anything, a dance, Valentine's Day, whatever it is. You have to let your body adjust to the temperature change. And the way to do that is to start small conversations with your crush. Start talking to them, start asking them to hang out, spend more time with them, get to know them a little bit better. So when you do get to the time where it's a few days before the dance, a week before the dance, however time you want to play with, then when you ask them, you're swimming in that water and it's no longer cold. So you never want to jump in cold. You want to get used to the water before you do it. Okay. So Drew Danger says how to keep your cool near a girl you like. And that's something I kind of touched on earlier. Building that sense of security where you just feel relaxed no matter who you're around definitely takes time, and it definitely is something you have to practice and work on. And I think the best way to practice that is to, and I say this sometimes, that the best way to kind of not be afraid around people that you like is to try to talk to people that you're not as intimidated by. So let's say you like a girl and you just freeze up around and you don't know what to say. Spend some time talking to girls maybe that you're not intimidated by, right? Go make friends with different girls. Go join friend groups and talk to them and start building up your ability to talk to other girls, because once you start doing that, then it'll be easier to transition to your crush because you'll have already learned a little bit more about girls and how they joke around, how they interact, what to say, how to not act stupid, all those different things, and then you work towards your crush. So that's how you start building up that kind of lack of fear. So let's see some original questions I haven't kind of touched here. Is it possible to create so Beast Player says, is it possible to create a relationship with someone you have a bad past memories with? You have past pet. So I think it is possible. It's a challenging thing to do because sometimes I have a video called How to Forget Your Past or How to Forget the Past. And I talk about that, this idea that it's not always easy to kind of forgive and forget. That's one of the hardest things to do because humans are not very forgetful creatures in the sense that we remember things that causes pain and that hurt us. And that's an evolutionary skill that we've developed, right? Like if I touch the hot stove and I know it's hot, that hot stove experience is going to be imprinted in my brain to protect me from the next time I encounter a hot stove. So if you have a bad experience with someone wrongs you, someone does something wrong to you, they say something mean to you, that may stick with you. So that in the event that you encounter them again, your body's going to automatically think, hey, this person hurt you in the past, don't be around them, don't talk to them. But this biological kind of response we developed doesn't take into account that people can also change and people can also grow. So what do you do if you want to build something new with someone, but you're holding on to that past traumatic experience with them? I think the best thing to do is to challenge that experience head on. It's to spend more time with that person and to really dig deeper into who they are so you can see that change. The more you unmask about that person, the better your connection is going to be with them and the less you'll kind of jump to that evolutionary fear you have. So Mark Horner says, hey Josh, can you check your Twitter please? I will check my Twitter after this. Let's do another cheap plug because those are fun. I'm going to go on Twitter now, and for you guys, anyone who's on Twitter, go follow me over on Twitter. I'm at the Josh Speaks. How do I get to my profile from here? Join me over on Twitter at the Josh Speaks. I also answer my Twitter DMs and stuff, and I'm always responding to you guys and having fun over there. So if you're on Twitter at the Josh Speaks, go join me over there too. Like I said, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can message me by email. You guys can reach out to me in a whole bunch of different ways. So if I don't get to your question tonight, definitely go message me over there. So let's see. Bessie Buddy says, I have a crush on my best friend, but we get teased for it. And I reply with I don't like him, but I really do. And he also says that, but can't tell if he is lying or honestly doesn't like me. Okay, so this is a situation where people make fun of you guys and you guys kind of pretend like you don't like each other. Oh, I don't like them. No, but you secretly do. I think the thing is, at the end of the day, it's like you want to be honest with yourself, right? And that's the reality. You want to be able to explore your feelings and build that out with them. But maybe you do have that fear of people making fun of you once it's exposed. or them not liking you. So there's a lot of factors that are making it easy to stay silent about it. I totally get that. I totally understand where you're coming from on that. And I think the way to work through that is to ask yourself, what is the most honest thing I can do? And if we answer that question, the most honest thing you can do is to not pretend, right, like you don't like them, and to actually pursue the person that you like. That's the most honest position you can take, right? That's one end here. The other end is pretend like you don't like them and don't ever tell them you like them. That's the other end. You have to ask yourself where you can feel comfortable, somewhere in the middle. And maybe that is admitting that you do like them, but maybe not acting on it just yet. Or maybe it's telling your friend that you like them, but still denying it to the public. Try to find the balance of what works for you. I mean, ideally, you want to not be afraid of it. But the best way to do it, I would suggest, is to talk to your friend and say, listen, I do like you. I know people say things, but I want to let you know that I do like you. And if you can kind of work that out with them, see if you can develop something with your friend, and maybe you can go somewhere. So Ben Way just says, okay, oh God, no, another Keemstar. I don't know what Keemstar is. Oh, so no hacks, just, okay, yeah. I'm way behind on the chat here. Let's see. Okay, so CBA says, another problem is I think she's starting to like me, always following me, starting a lot of conversations. I think even more than my friend, but I don't really want to hurt my friend. Oh, okay, so I think I remember you said that, I think it's your friend's crush, your friend's girlfriend likes you, and you're kind of caught in that little, oh, what do I do here? The best thing to do is to talk to your friend about it. Let them know where you stand. I'm planning on telling another story from my own life about me and my friend, and how we kind of learned to respect each other's crushes and not step on each other's toes, and how we did that. I want to share that story. It's going to be one of my life stories with you guys. But that, I think, is ultimately what it comes down to. Talk to your friend, because your friend is who matters to you. Your friend's closer to you here. So let's see. Michael Bob says, Michael Bob says, I didn't ask her out yet, but she knows I'm in love with her. When should I ask her out? Okay, so the girl knows you're in love with her, but you don't know when to kind of make that move to ask her out. That can be a challenge, right? And the reason why it's a challenge is because what if things go wrong? What if she doesn't like you back? What if it just makes things awkward? Those are all realistic possibilities. It's also a realistic possibility that things could work out. So we'll put that on the table too. It's not always negative. What I would suggest is this, that if you want to get around to asking her out, then you have to start changing the dynamic between you two. She has to start seeing you in a romantic light, and the best way for her to see you in a romantic light, right? The best way is for her to, to see that you're not acting like you're just a friend anymore, right? You're not just kind of keeping at a friend level. You're flirting with her. You're asking her to hang out one-on-one. You're being a little bit more, maybe you put your arm around her, maybe you hold her hand. You're doing a little bit more that shows that you are acting on your feelings rather than just passively letting them go by. So that's what I think needs to happen there. So let's see what else we got here. Okay. So Diablo says, I work in the same place as my crush, and last week we talked a lot. I wanted to test if she likes me by seeing if she started a conversation this week, but she didn't, so it was really awkward. What to do? Okay, so I have a video too on how to ask a girl out at work. I think that's what it's called. How to ask a girl out at work, where I break down, should you do it? Should you go out with someone at work? How to go about it, how to make it work, how to balance everything. So definitely check out that video if that's what you're looking for. But you're trying to find out pretty much if she likes you, right? You're waiting for her to kind of show those signs towards you, which is okay. But I think part of the problem with a passive approach is that you get passive results, right? If she doesn't do anything, then you're left not knowing, correct? Like you still don't know. I'm waiting for her to do something. She didn't do anything. I don't have any answer, positive or negative. I'm kind of left neutral. So I think the best thing is you have to be proactive. You have to be the one pursuing. You have to be the one asking her to hang out. You have to be the one starting the conversation. It's on you to build the fire, like if you want to eat tonight, you got to build the fire, and someone has to do it. You can't sit there and go, well, these sticks are just going to lie there and the food's going to be cooked on its own. You need to build the fire. So I think it falls on you if you like her and you want to pursue something. So Ricochet says, how do I know if a girl is interested in me or just friendly interested in me? So that's a challenging thing too. Sometimes people are just friendly, and that's really what it comes down to. We may mistake or misinterpret their friendliness as being something more, but that's what it is at the end of the day. They just like us. I mean, we like them, and we don't know if they like us back. The best way to find out, I think, like I said, hang out with them one-on-one. Be flirty, be open, talk to them, showcase a little bit of how you feel. Don't tell them. And this is the thing, a lot of guys are like, when do I tell the girl I like her? Should I say it now? Should I say it now? I think the best thing is not tell someone how you feel, but showcase how you feel. And the way to showcase that is use language and action together. Like language may be, you're really fun to hang out with. We should hang out a lot more often. Put your arm around her. You have said in that action you like her, and you've been physical about it. You put your arm around her. There's two components, right? Not just singular, hi, I like you. Do you like me? Yes or no? You don't want to get down that road. So Greg says, Josh, what basketball team do you support? I'm not a huge basketball fan. I don't really watch basketball. I probably would say the Nets, I think. I don't know. The Nets are a Brooklyn team, so that's where I'm from. So Nate DeGreat says, what if my crush is Sai? I think he asked this earlier, but hold on, guys. I'm just going to block. Oh, he is blocked. Okay, good. Oh, yeah. So Nate, I believe, asked this question earlier, and I think I might have skipped over it. So if your crush is shy, I have a video on this too, how to talk to someone who's nervous, or how to talk to your crush if they're shy, I think it's called. I don't really remember. Search my channel, type in crush shy, and the video will pop up. So if they're shy, ultimately what they're looking for is someone to make them feel comfortable, right? Because that's the opposite of shyness. It's comfort. And the best way to do that, they have to see. Let me take a water break. Your crush has to see that you're going to accept them for who they are. Right? That you're not going to judge them. You're not going to make fun of them. You're not going to think they're weird. They need to feel like you're going to accept them for who they are. And the best way to do that is to just talk openly to them, right? That's my key strategy to making other people feel comfortable is I just talk to them. Like this is what I do. I jump in the mindset as if this person has been my friend for years. And I talk to them like they've been my friend for years. Say, oh man, this is what I'm going through. What are you up to? What are you doing? And I talk to them like it's just a normal flowing conversation. Like we're not even worried about introductions. We're just jumping right into normal conversations. And guess what happens? That person then responds like they've known you for years. You're hacking the introduction to function more like you guys have been friends forever, rather than just, hi, nice to meet you. So you like stuff? You're kind of skipping that by just jumping into telling stories, asking questions, and learning more about them. So let's see. So Ariath Ambiemwol says, Josh, I asked the girl out as friends, but she said no. So basically now whenever I see her, I get nervous. It's really awkward. I'm in middle school, so I have to work with her in a group project. Okay, so you asked the girl out, but she said no. Basically now, whenever I see her, I get nervous and really awkward. Okay, so that's a challenge too. It's like sometimes you ask someone out and then you get the no, and then it's like, okay, you sit next to me in class, so this is weird. You run into those moments. But like at the end of the day, it's like you can't. It's just because you were rejected doesn't mean you can kind of make everything go away. It's something that happened. It's something you have to kind of live through. I know it's challenging. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy at all. But it's something you have to try to live through. And the best way to live through it is to normalize the communication. Because now if you have to work with her, if you talk to her like things are normal, and maybe it's faking it till you make it and convincing yourself, let me just talk to her like it's normal, she's then going to feel more comfortable and respond like it's normal. And you guys hopefully will be able to put it behind you. So let's see what else we got. So Ninja Gamer asks, my crush put me in the friend zone. How do I get out? So Ninja Gamer, I have an entire playlist dedicated to how to escape the friend zone, which you should definitely go watch. Watch all of the friend zone videos. They are super helpful. I think I get very, very detailed on the friend zone and what to do. The best way to get out of it, it really is to let the person go and to move on and grow on your own right. So Mary G says, How do you talk to people that you know really well, but there just seems to always be silence, can't figure out what to talk about? So that's the thing too. I have a few videos on starting conversations and carrying conversations. What I would do is this, and this is, we all run into this situation, right? You've run out of conversation topics, or people give you one-word answers, and that's the end of that. There are a few things that I think are go-to conversations, and this is, you can pull these out of the bag whenever you need to. And a few of those things are yawning for dramatic effect. I apologize. I ate earlier, and then I've been talking for 2 hours, and I'm running out of water. So I think it's taking a toll on me. So a few of the things you can say to kind of just jumpstart conversations. So I'll give you a little analogy. When I was in Boy Scouts, right, we had to build campfires. You know, we'd try to light the fires, and we'd do the stick thing and try to light and stuff. But what we had were these little newspaper rolls that were kind of doused in gasoline and tied in a string. And those were our kind of little like fire starters that we would use in case we couldn't get the fire going. So let's say it was really windy or it was raining and it was really hard to make a fire. Those things would help us make the fires. So these little, I don't want to call them fire bombs, but you need those kind of little things you can throw in conversations. One of them is, I've been thinking a lot lately about what I want to do in the future when I get older. What about you? What are your plans and goals for the future? That's something I always jump to, because telling someone I've been thinking about it and then asking them what theirs are opens up a new dialogue for conversation. They can talk about their hobbies. They can talk about what their plans are, what they're studying, where they work, all those different things. I think that's the key one. Other ones are, hey, this movie just came out and I've heard really good reviews about it. What are your thoughts on it? Do you like those type of movies? What type of movies do you like? I think for every question you ask, you have to break it into a smaller question, into a smaller question, into a smaller question. So the movie thing, for example, what type of movies do you like? When was the last time you saw movies in theaters? What was your favorite movie growing up? Have you ever seen this movie? You can ask a million movie questions going down and just break it into smaller and smaller questions. Let's see what else we got here. So, okay, so Julio Jones will tell them apart. Oh, so we're talking about basketball, I think. So Approaching Sola says, how can I raise my confidence? So that's a good question. I think a good way to start building confidence, personal confidence, is to here's something fun that you guys can try. You guys can try to make a list of different things that you feel afraid of doing. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's talking to your crush. Maybe it's, maybe it's swimming. Maybe it's a bunch of different things. We all have different fears, right? Like, we're all afraid to try different things. And the best way to, sorry about that. The best way to build confidence is to recognize a fear that we have, to challenge that fear, and to overcome that fear, right? And the way we do that is by challenging it head on. Now, we may not succeed, but overcoming the fear is very different from overcoming the obstacle. Overcoming the fear is the idea that you're going to fail. And even if you do fail, you know what it's like. You've experienced some element of it. So you don't have that total blank slate fear anymore. So when it comes to building confidence, find something that you find really challenging, deconstruct it, break it down, see what you don't know about it. Maybe it's, I don't know what's going to happen if I do that, or I don't know what the response is going to be. And push yourself to be in that situation so you can gain some idea of what the response is. Okay. So Diablo says, I work in the same place as my crush. Oh, I think we kind of went through that one. How do I act on the girl I like? We kind of covered that a bit. Let's see. So the board guy asked an interesting question. Why do people in middle school like flat-chested girls? So the board guy, this is the thing I think you have to recognize. Middle school generally and high school, but mainly middle school, is when people are starting to develop, right? Kids of all ages, girls maybe are developing breasts, boys are developing deeper voices, puberty and all these different things are kicking in. So to ask that question, why do people in middle school like flat-chested girls? A girl's value is not determined by the size of her chest, nor should it be, nor a guy's value should be determined by his height or anything like that. Value is determined by your inner character and your personality. So And the thing is too, is that people are in the middle of transitioning. Their bodies are growing. So I don't think it's fair to kind of fault someone because they haven't hit puberty yet and say, oh, you're not this, therefore you're not attractive. We shouldn't get into those kind of labels. I think the focus should be on, hey, do I really connect with this person? Do we share values with each other? Do we enjoy each other's company? Puberty is something that everyone in middle school is going through. So don't fault anyone for not getting there yet. Everyone's going to get there in their own due time. So Josh, when you said, so Ninetails Fox says, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped Neon Wave. Hey Josh, my friend's ex and I are going to see a movie together, although I don't think it's a date sometime soon. My friend doesn't know yet, and I think I should tell him. How do I do that? So like I said, I think telling him is the right thing to do because you don't want to go behind your friend's back only for them to find out and feel like, you're a jerk for kind of going behind their back. But ultimately what I would say is this, that the best way to talk to them about it is to kind of pull them aside one-on-one and say, hey, listen, you know that girl you were dating, I'm kind of talking to her and we're going to go hang out. We're going to see each other. I wanted to let you know because I feel like that's the right thing to do. Tell him just like that and see what his response is. He may be angry. He may not be, but being honest and civil about it is the best way to approach it. So just so you guys know, it's 7:47. I'm going to probably start wrapping this up around 8 o'clock, maybe 8:10, because I think I started a little late. And as always, after these YouTube live events, there's always a hangout, an after party. I always do an after party with you guys. This after party is going to be over on Instagram Live. So like I was showing before, I need you guys to follow me over on Instagram if you want to jump in. It'll be a much smaller group, so there's a higher chance you get your question answered. And so definitely, guys, join me over on Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram. I'm going to jump on Instagram Live after. So we'll continue this after party. We'll answer more questions. We'll kind of we'll have our briefing of this hangout here. So I'm going to try to jump through these a little quicker. And I just want to say once again to anyone new that joined, thank you guys for being a part of this. We're celebrating 100,000 subscribers. I'm happy to jump on here and talk to you guys. The channel is growing and I'm trying to plan out big things. We're trying to find partners to work with, companies to work on bigger projects. I want to let you guys know I'm in the process of organizing my thoughts on 2 books that I'm putting together based on your guys' feedback from the survey that I sent out in the beginning of the year and end of last year. One book is going to be focused on my own personal life stories, my own growth growing up, things I've experienced, my ups, my downs, mistakes I've made with girls, and things I've pushed myself to do. It's going to be my kind of life story a little bit there. And then the second book is going to be more focused on tips and tricks. And this one's going to be very practical advice. Your crush is in front of you. What do you do? Your crush is with your friends. How do you talk to her? How do you deal with people knowing you like your crush? I'm going to answer all these questions in detail and kind of give basic answers to them and kind of walk you through that. So those 2 books, my goal is to launch them by this year. So definitely stay tuned as I work on that. I'm going to find a way to share that process with you guys, so it should be fun. Okay. See what else we got here. So Drew Danger says, I sit next to my crush in home group, and I always turn away and talk to the boys next to me. I want to turn to her and say, hey, without being weird. Okay, so a good way to turn and approach someone and talk to them without it being weird is to, what I would say is to focus on asking them a question, right? So if you turn and you say, hey, listen, let me get your opinion on something. That's always an easy thing to say, an easy thing to jump into because people have opinions. And jumping and involving them in the conversation makes it feel like it's not a weird thing to turn them. You're turning and talking to them for a specific thing, which is to ask their opinion. So Minecraft Kid, what's Minecraft Kid doing? How is No Hacks Just Butter still in here? I thought we blocked him. Okay, I don't know. He's still in here somehow. I thought we blocked him. Geez, the kid is on a rampage. But anyway, so Mark Horner, no need to insult other people. If people are just stepping out of line, at CBA to think of a name is the mod. He'll take out some of the bad, stupid comments in here, but that's okay. Okay. let's try to skim through. So Meaner Sam says, what to do if your crush gets lots of attention from other guys who can basically get every guy she wants? So this is something too I want to make a special video on. Your crush is the hottest, coolest person ever, and every guy's clamoring over them, and they have the major selection of guys. What do you do? I think you have to ask yourself, how do I stand out from the crowd? How do I approach this and be different? And the best way to be different is to not follow the same route all the other guys are. And I can guarantee all the other guys are giving her all the attention in the world and doing everything for her and constantly trying to suck up to her. Best thing to do, I would say, is take the opposite route. When you talk to her, challenge her, call her out, tease her, make fun of her. Do the opposite of what all the other guys are doing, which is giving her 100% attention, and have fun like that. That's how I think you can kind of reassess the situation from a different perspective and come off looking different. So let's see. How do I talk to, so Cerebo says, how do I talk to a girl that OP like Josh? Please help. I'm not sure what you mean there. So if you want, retype in, I'll try to answer it. Panagiotis says, it is sly if a girl you're talking to like properly asks another guy friend to go to cinema with them. So is it sly if a girl you're talking to properly asks another guy to go to the cinema with them? So if the girl you like, and maybe you're flirting, maybe you're building someone up, but ask another guy to go to the theater with her, my philosophy is this. Until you guys are officially dating, like your boyfriend, girlfriend, you can date anyone you want. And I think that should be free and fair, and we shouldn't judge other people for doing that. So if you're building up something there, you're dating her, and she's seeing someone else, that's okay. At the end of the day, it's on you to kind of build a stronger connection with her so that she doesn't want to date anyone else, so she only wants to date you. So I think it's okay. I know that maybe it's a little upsetting, it's a little bothersome, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to you putting your best self forward and building a stronger connection with her. So Ukulele Tube says, hey Josh, I don't have a question, but I want to say congrats on 100K. Your videos have given me so much confidence. Because of you, I've become popular mainly for my ukulele playing. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Is there any way I can check out your channel? I want to see your channel. Go to channel, open a new tab. I'll keep that open for later. Dude, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. If anyone else, if you guys have YouTube channels and somehow my videos have helped in some way to inspire you to make content or to just be your best self, share them in the chat. I want to see everything you guys got. I think it'd be fun. So I Heart Huskies, how do you deal with bullies? I talked a little bit more in detail on bullies. I have a few videos on bullying. Definitely check out my videos on bullying. They'll definitely help out a lot more. Okay. So Drew says, sit next to my crush in home group and I always turn away and talk to the boys next to me. I want to turn to her and say, hey, without being weird. Okay, so I kind of addressed that. Like I said, turn and ask, hey, let me get your opinion on something. Oh, the chat jumped. I lost my place in the chat. Oh man, I'm way behind on comments. Okay, guys, I know I'm probably skipping a lot of people here, but I'm going to just jump in somewhere and start answering from there. And realize how far behind on comments I am. Hopefully, you know what? I don't know what the best way is because I don't want to just have it just new comments pop up because then I miss comments. So I keep stopping the chat to look. I'll just jump from here. Okay, Kaz versus Gaming says, hey Josh, thank you very much, bro. I literally had tears of joy running on my cheek when you answered my email. Thank you so much. No problem, guys. Look, this morning, I spent like an hour before I got up for work and did everything, answering emails, Instagram messages, Snapchat messages, Facebook messages. I feel it's so important to talk to you guys. And I feel like it's so important to give you guys the respect of trying to answer as best as I can. I may not always get to everyone's message all the time, but I would do my best to get to yours and everyone that's there. So if you can bear with me and understand if I don't respond for a few days that I'm going to get to your message, then I appreciate that very much, guys. And thank you, Kaz, for being there and answering and talking with me on online. Okay. So hashtag Roma says, is masturbating 30 times a day okay? I don't think it's okay. I think eventually you will chafe your skin. And if you are masturbating 30 times a day, which I don't know if this is a real question or a troll question, but let's turn it into a real question. Let's say you masturbate a lot or all the time in a day. I think it's important to ask yourself why you're resorting to that. Do you have a lot of sexual pent-up energy that you feel you need to get out that way? Are you doing it because you're bored? I would try taking a fun challenge called the No Fap Challenge. I know a few guys have talked about it. A few people have done it and said, hey, you know, do the No Fap Challenge, no fapping for 30 days. Try it out and see how your life kind of changes and your thoughts and process reshift based on that. So, okay, Delonic says, my girlfriend keeps sending me pictures of good night, good morning, and last time she sent me a heart. What should I do? Please respond. Okay, so if your girlfriend's sending you a lot of photos that are like, good night, good morning, things like that, I mean, I would say respond back with the same thing. Good night, good morning, have fun with it. Like, I think she's just trying to be interactive with you and be interactive back with her. You guys can have a good time sharing messages like that. It doesn't have to be weird or anything like that. So I'm totally messed up on the comments here, but I'm just skimming through it and picking at random guys. So I apologize if I skip over your questions. Like I said, I'm jumping on Instagram right after this, Instagram Live. We're going to have an after party. I'll answer some of you guys' questions. It'll be a little bit more relaxed, but this has been a lot of fun so far. Okay, so let's see. Austin M. Boat says, hey, Josh, what happens if people know you like your crush and your crush always blushes after what now? Okay, so if your crush, people know you like your crush and your crush always blushes. So everyone's kind of in on it. Everyone knows what's going on. And it's kind of like, oh, cute and awkward and fun and stuff like that. I think at that point, if everyone knows, especially your crush, you got nothing to lose. You might as well go forward with it and start talking to them, even ask them out. Because at that point, they already know what's happening. So there's no need to kind of like hide or beat around the bush. Just go forward with it, you know? It's like it's out in the open, make it happen. So Bessie Buddy says, thank you for reading my comment. That really helped. Congrats on 100K. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'm happy you guys are part of this with me. So Yoda with the soda. I like that name. Yoda with the soda says, what to do if you have no swag? Okay, so I have a few videos, I think 1 or 2 videos on how to be cool, how to act cool in middle school or in high school. And I kind of talk about this idea of cool and what it means to be cool. When it comes down to having swag, swag is a mixture of a few things. Swag is a mixture of kind of social acceptance, right? Having people around you say, hey, that kid's cool. He's got it together, his style, his clothing. And swag is also having the attitude, right? The swagger is having the attitude like, hey, listen, I'm just doing me. My focus is on me. So I think that's the more important piece of swag, right? Just saying, listen, I'm doing the things that I love. People aren't dictating that for me. They aren't telling me what to do. They aren't influencing me, and I'm just doing what I love. That's the key piece of swag everyone should have. Okay, so let's keep going. So Bessie Buddy asked also, can you upload this? I think this will be really helpful for anyone who missed the stream. Absolutely. Guys, just so you know, once the stream is done, it goes up on my YouTube channel, right? Once it goes up on my YouTube channel, the first thing that I do is go through it, and I go through and I timestamp all the answers that I give. So every question that I answer, I will put in the either description or the comments, right? I'll put it as a comment because the description is only 5,000 characters. And you can just click on the timestamp and jump to that specific part of the video where I answer that question. It's been super helpful for people in the past. It takes me a long time to do it because this is 2 hours pretty much and I do it at 2x speed. So it's about an hour of editing that, but I do that because I know it's so important for you guys. Sometimes you don't want to sit through 2 hours of this and you want to just jump to specific answers. So I'm going to do that for you guys afterwards. Okay. I'm skipping through a lot of questions. I'm going to answer a few more here and then we'll jump to Instagram. So Neon says he's got to head out. Thank you, Neon, for being a part of this. I really appreciate it, man. So CBA to name says, hey, Josh, when you see this comment and he is still here, promote best player to mod. He's being pretty damn helpful. That's true. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't see that till now. But best player, you're a mod. You know, you guys are killing it here, making this chat good. So Austin said he's spamming here. All right, let me jump to Austin's questions so that he doesn't spam me. He says, hey, Josh, what happens if people know you like your crush? Your crush always blushes. Oh, okay, so I answered that question. So Austin, hopefully that helped. So Yoda says, Josh, are you black? No, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm sure down my lineage there's black definitely in there because probably mix of Spaniard and Indian and Latino Indians. So somewhere I'm sure I'm mixed in somewhere. Okay, so Elite X Minds says, I have an English speaking project to stand in front of the class and speak for 45 minutes to teach the class something. I'm terrified of speaking to more than 6 or 7 guys at a time. What do I do? Okay, so Elite, I'm going to tell you my trick. This is the trick that I used when I was in school. What I would do is this. Before you have your speaking project, before you actually do it, go on YouTube, right? And look up someone that you enjoy listening to and watching speak, right? At the time, I was looking up Steve Jobs, right? I said, I love the way Steve Jobs presents things. He's just awesome at the Apple events. And I would watch Steve Jobs presentations and Steve Jobs speeches. I would see how he would move, how he would pause, where he put emphasis on words. And I told myself, whenever I feel nervous, I'm just going to pretend like I'm Steve Jobs presenting it. That's what I think you should do. Find someone you enjoy that's speaking, enjoys some. How you guys doing? Find someone that you enjoy watching speak and emulate them on stage. That I think is the best way, because now you're playing a character. Now you're just getting into the rhythm of acting like that person. And it takes off the focus of you thinking about people watching you. Instead, you're focusing on playing a character. So that was always my trick for speaking in class. Okay. Let's answer a few more questions here, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, guys. My voice is shot. Okay. So iHeart Husky asked the question. Beast Player said, thanks, Josh, made a video about it. Look at his channel, should be right there. So I don't see where. Oh, what do you do if your crush hates you? Oh, iHeart Husky, I just made a video on that on Tuesday. So definitely go check it out. Now I'm just skimming through. I'm not even reading. All right, Rust only. Let's get to his questions. I'm kind of reading them and not even answering them. Okay. I like this girl, but my friend asked her for her number, and the girl looks at me all the time. Does she like me? My friend is white and only speaks English, and she's Mexican and only speaks Spanish. Okay, so you like the girl, but your friend asks her for her number, and the girl looks at me all the time, but she likes me. My friend is white and only speaks English. Okay, so I guess the question is, does the girl like you, or does the girl like your friend? Your friend asked her for her number, but she's looking at you. I think this comes down to, once again, the bro code type of thing, right? If your friend likes her and your friend is the first one to kind of approach her and talk to her, be respectful of that. Yeah, she may think you're cute, she may like you, but allow him to kind of try first. I feel like that's the respectful thing to do, right? You don't want to just say, oh, well, she looked at me. Dude, you're screwed. If things go that way, then they go that way in the future, but don't intentionally cause them. Be respectful of your friends first. So Diablo, I didn't see what Diablo did. Did you reply to my question? Could you please repeat it briefly? So Diablo, I don't remember, but like I said, I'm going to put all the timestamps together in the end, so you can definitely check them out then. So Beast Player says, crap, I don't have Instagram. Beast Player, that's totally fine. I don't know if you're on Facebook or even if you're on Snapchat. If you're on, anyone here on Snapchat, I'll put it up one more time. My Snap code. What I want you guys to do, hopefully it's not too blurry. This darn glare. Okay. Put on my Snap code. Hopefully Snapchat will read it. Everyone screenshot this if you want to add me on Snapchat. And anyone who adds that, send me that picture you screenshotted on Snapchat. Let's get real meta, right? Send me the picture you just screenshotted on Snapchat by adding me on Snapchat. I think it'd be crazy, blow everyone's mind. And I want to share another project that I have with you guys. I think you guys will like it a lot. I haven't done a lot with it, and I really think it needs some kind of revamping, but I'm going to type it here in the chat for you guys. This is a group. If you guys are on Facebook, I have a group called the Learning Co-op, right? And what that group is, you guys go to the chat there, Facebook groups. I believe it's groups, or if it's a group, I don't remember, but facebook.com/groups/the Learning Co-op. What it is privilege. I'll answer your question. I'll make that the last question here. What the Learning Co-op is a community of people like us, right? Josh Speaks fans, or just people in general here that are coming together to help each other grow. So in that group, I share tons of exclusive things. Like, for example, I just came out with a new shirt design for the Josh Speaks that I'm going to eventually roll out, called Everything is Small Steps. That's what it says on it, because that's something I always say, and I truly believe everything is small steps. And I jumped in that group and I asked for feedback. I shared designs. People shared their feedback on that. People go in there and ask for specific advice, and we all act as a real community and help each other. So if you are on Facebook, join facebook.com/groups/the learning co-op, COOP, learning co-op, the learning co-op, and be a part of that small community. It's really direct, and we really interact with each other, and I definitely think it's a lot of fun. All in all, what I'm saying basically is there are a million ways to reach out to me, and I do want to communicate with you guys. I think one of the best parts about having 100,000 subscribers here is that I get to interact with so many of you guys, and I'm hoping by 2018 we can hit 200,000, a million. Who knows? We'll see where this goes. But so the final question tonight will come from Privilege, and he says, I talk to this girl every day. I would say we are friends, but I don't know if I should ask her out. So this is a common thing. You feel like you're in this kind of murky place where you're just friends, but you don't really know. How do you build it into something? And this is my answer on this, guys. If you don't know where you stand with someone, right? If you don't know whether or not they like you, or you don't know whether or not you can develop something, the only way you're ever going to find out is by trying, right? I talk a lot about being your best self. And at the end of the day, what that really means, if we're getting down to the bare bones of what it means, is trying things and learning from that experience. That's what it is at the end of the day, because you have to be able to try them so you can gain that experience, gain that knowledge, and then change your setting, change your position, change your mindset, right? If you like someone, you're never going to know whether or not it's going to blossom into something good if you don't ask them out and you don't talk to them. And let's say you do ask them out and it fails. Well, then, okay, I know it sucks. It sucks a lot sometimes, but it's a learning experience. And that's what's so important. It's a learning experience where you can say, you know what? Maybe next time I'll try to spend more time getting to know them better and before asking them out. Or you know what? Maybe next time I'm going to be less silly and crazy and not be all over the place. Maybe I'll be a little bit more relaxed. You are always learning and growing, and that is the key here to being your best self. I'm just going to scroll down to the end of the chat here. So CBA, if you don't have Instagram or Snapchat, I'm just going to go now. I'm going to leave the chat and see what you guys are saying. What's your best advice for getting over being used? I have a video on that, how to deal with being used. Or Facebook. So CBA, if you don't have any other way, guys, also you can also email me. That's also another option. If you go to thejoshspeaks.com/ask, that's a page right there with all my different contact platforms. Pick the one that works for you. If it's email, if it's YouTube comments, if it's Snapchat, or whatever it may be. Go on there and answer, ask me questions, do whatever you guys can. I see people are still asking me to answer their questions. Guys, if I didn't answer your specific question or I skipped over you guys, like I said, I'm on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. You can email me. I'm on Ask FM too if you use Ask FM. I'm all over the place, or Google Hangout. Hey, David, how's it going? I didn't even see you there. How's it going, David? I'm all over the place, and I try to make myself as available as I can. Sometimes I don't always get to answer questions. Sometimes I get to answer everyone's questions that I have. But I mean, I feel so humbled and lucky to, you guys you guys are all really good people at the end of the day, with a few exceptions of the trolls in here, but you guys are all really good people. And if you ever have any ideas for video topics or things you want me to cover or things you want to see from me in the future, let me know. I'm always open to hearing what you guys have to say. So without further ado, let's bring this to a close. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this hangout. Like I said, I'm going to try to set up another one right before Valentine's Day, right? So we can do this. But the videos that I'm going to put out are going to be focused on getting ready for Valentine's Day. So the Valentine's Day hangout is really going to be like a last minute, this is what you got to do for Valentine's Day kind of thing, right? The videos are going to be more tutorial to prep you before. But the after party starts pretty much right after this. I'm going to jump on Instagram and we will continue the conversation over there. So Randall Jacobs, I'm sorry you got here at the last minute. It's okay, dude. If you want to see some of the questions that I answered, I'm going to put them in the follow-up of this video, right? So if you look at the description and you look at the comments, probably the first comment, that's going to be all the different questions that people ask. I apologize, Randall, but I'm jumping on Instagram It's 1:10 in the morning. Oh, dude, I didn't know it was so late over there. Oh, geez, I apologize. It's Friday, so it's okay. It's okay. You're staying up a little late. What state I'm in? I'm in New York. Okay, guys, I'm literally peeing in a bottle to watch you. That I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, so all right, let's do a little quick rapid fire. Anyone has quick little things they want to say, just say it in before I bring this to a full close. So confident in yourself. How? I think it's taken me years to kind of develop who I am, to really come into myself. And I think everyone's on that journey. Thanks so much for existing. You should definitely be on YouTube Rewind 2017. That'd be an awesome thing. I'd love to be on YouTube Rewind. It's my question on Instagram. Yeah, I'm going to jump to Instagram later, but I'm going to do the live chat now, but I'm going to answer Instagram DMs probably much later in the night. But shout out, you're the best. Drop the rhyme. You're the best. How old am I? I'm 29 years old. Check out my gaming channel. Follow me on Instagram. Send you a DM. No, I missed it. DeMarco, you missed it. It's okay, DeMarco. I'm going to be jumping on Instagram if you I think you are following me on there. So guys, all right, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this celebration, 100,000 subscribers. I'm so lucky to have you guys, and I love talking to you guys. The channel is going to keep growing. We're going to keep learning, and we're just going to keep working towards being our best selves. So guys, let's close this like I always close it. As always, love and peace. See you guys over on Instagram. See ya.